schools in a different southern state.
Once it got its own specific class, I was like, oh, this seems pretty neat. I want to join this.
Testing the same AP course that Florida rejected, just steps from the White House.
These folks need to believe that we're actually going to show up and help.
Officials are dealing with a homeless camp. And after a busy day one of his national tour, President Biden heads to the Sunshine State today. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Kelly Sanchez. Today is Thursday, February 9th, 2023.
Live from the FIU Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
We're getting some feedback this morning as the same AP African American Studies course that was rejected in Florida gets tested in a different southern state. This morning, schools in Louisiana are holding trials of a new advanced placements course on African American studies in the face of nationwide criticism over critical race theory, most notably here in Florida.
The course is currently in the test phase, and Governor Ron DeSantis said it would not be allowed in Florida for that reason. But at schools like Baton Rouge Magnet High School, students say this course has more to offer than just controversy.
Because I feel like I want to learn more about my own cultures, and you don't see like a lot of coverage in other history classes about it. And once it got its own specific class, I was like, oh, this seems pretty neat. I want to join this.
Emmett Glynn is one teacher behind the trials and says the class will teach students general history of the U.S. through the African American perspective.
Officials in D.C. are dealing with a homeless problem at a well-known park just down the street from the White House. Reporter Rachel Costa from our D.C. Bureau is in Washington this morning.
I'm here in McPherson Square in downtown D.C., home to about 75 unhoused people. But an encampment clearing notice scheduled for April was pushed for next week, leaving this community little time to find housing.
People find safety being together in encampments, and their caseworkers know where to find them in encampments. And when an encampment is cleared, we lose contact with the people living there. They may just end up in another encampment, which is the case with many of the people here in McPherson Square who have been pushed here from other clearings.
McPherson Square is on federal land and falls under the jurisdiction of the National Park Service. NPS spokesperson Mark Litterst said the clearing was at the request of and in conjunction with the city's Department of Health and Human Service, and explained why the clearing was moved up. Councilmember Robert White posted a video on Twitter explaining his interaction with the people who have been on housing lists for years with no results and why they're skeptical.
Of course, they are not eager to sign up on another list. These folks need to believe that we're actually going to show up and help. They are ready for housing. They are begging for housing and saying they don't know what's going to happen if they don't have housing when this closes.
According to the Federal HUD annual homelessness report, the number of homeless people in D.C. has gone down 13.7% between 2021 and 2022. But housing is an increasing problem in cities such as the nation's capital with its high cost of living. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has proposed converting empty office spaces into apartments, but that would take time and wouldn't help people in immediate need, such as in McPherson Square. Some of the people living in McPherson Square already have housing vouchers but are yet to be placed, and the small community still needs to help from the government and nonprofit organizations to find housing. For the South Florida Media Network from Washington, D.C., I'm Rachel Costa.
President Biden is traveling to Tampa, Florida to secure the Social Security and health care plan. The proposal created by Senator Rick Scott and mentioned in Tuesday's State of the Union address would demand Social Security and Medicare be approved every 5 years by Congress. Biden and the White House hope to draw the attention of senior citizens in the Republican state that is home to Governor Ron DeSantis.
The end is near for COVID-19. Just a week after President Biden said he would put an end to COVID-19 and public health emergencies, he announced during the State of the Union address that the plans to protect the U.S. are still in order. The White House will be releasing a detailed plan of the transition. This means that Americans might have to start paying for tests and treatments in the future.
An out-of-this-world discovery that could slow down climate change here on Earth. In a study by the University of Utah, researchers discovered how a cloud of dust floating between the Earth and the Sun could block some of the Sun's solar radiation. That radiation is increasing our planet's temperature, and scientists say the properties of this moon dust make it the perfect shield for Earth, but only if it can stay in an orbit that can provide continuous shade for our planet.
Fans of Paramore flocking to Sweat Records in Miami to be among the first to hear the band's new album before it's released tomorrow. And during a recent global event, the network's Emily Cajias was listening in.
Ain't it fun to see Sweat Records is hosting a listening party for Paramore fans to listen to Paramore's new comeback album, This Is Why, just days before it's released. And this is just one of the many listening parties going on in local record stores around the world.
It's really great when bands actually take the time to care and do something cool for record stores, because we always say we're like the boots on the ground of the music industry. We're the ones putting their music in their fans' hands. So to do something like this where the fans get a cool extra poster and these little treats, like that's really special. It makes the fans feel like the band's really thinking about them, and more bands should follow their lead.
And this band did not disappoint.
I was gasping and like screaming and going crazy, and I love the instruments and her vocals obviously, and it was really good.
Fans are really excited to not only hear new music, but make new friends that are just like them.
I don't know any Paramore stands in Miami until now. I met everybody today.
That's great that everybody could come together and be able to share the love of Paramore and listen to the new album before it even comes out.
This truly special event has given fans an earful of new music, a handful of exclusive giveaways, and the anticipation to hear the album again when it officially drops. Reporting for South Florida Media Network, I'm Emily Cajias.
The Heat came back home with hopes of snapping a 2-game losing streak.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Avoid fabric softeners and dryer sheets, even though it's great in the winter to decrease static. That will actually increase your possibility of being sensitive.
People on both sides of the great laundry debate are weighing in. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
I could really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes.
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Pantotech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
If a natural disaster shows up at your doorstep, you can't just turn it away. That's why it's important to prepare for emergencies before they show up. Go to ready.gov/plan to find the tools and tips you need. And make a plan today.
You really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
It's a loaded question about laundry. How many times can you wear an item of clothing before washing it? This morning, dermatologists are weighing in.
As the network's Julieta Saris reports, it depends on which article of clothing it is.
Laundry, laundry, laundry. It seems times are changing. Some people have less time to do laundry, while others seem to be here every other day.
Here at the Wash and Fold Coin Laundry, there's a lot that customers have to say. How often do you do your laundry? Are you someone who can wear the same shirt 4 or 5 times, or do you need to wash it after you choose? Let's see what these laundromat goers have to say.
So are you team wash it or are you team wear it?
I'd say team wash it.
Yeah? How many days until you go to the laundry?
Maybe 2.
2 days?
2.
Okay, so you're a student.
Yeah.
Are you team wash it or are you team wear it?
I'm definitely team wear it as long as
the clothes are not stained and smell well, definitely team wear it. But there is a secret. You have to separate the clothes you wore with the clothes that are clean and put it separately. You don't put it back in the hanger because that's kind of gross.
That's a great tip. Thanks for that. So the people want to know, are you team wash it or are you team wear it? Team wear it. And why? You don't have the time here to be washing clothes every day. You heard it here first, folks. You don't have any time to wash your clothes. Whether all of that was a matter of fact or fiction, I suppose we'll never truly know. But either way, thanks for joining me. I'm Julia Tesseris for the South Florida Media Network.
If Miami Heat All-Star Bam Adebayo is tired this morning, it's because he put the whole team on his back. Miami was hosting the Indiana Pacers last night, a game where Bam tied his season high of 38 points. He put the game away with 4 clutch free throws, part of his career high of 14. The final score was Pacers 111, Heat 116. The Houston Rockets will be at the Miami-Dade Arena tomorrow night.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Kelly Sanchez.
And I'm Julian Davis. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.